What's going on? Welcome to another live edition of Real Fans Real Talk. We got some things to get to today. Plus, we got a special guest that's going to be joining us a little bit later in the program. If you're familiar with New York City, with the Super Bowl in New York City, men, Hoops in the Sun, of course, Rucker Park, West Fourth Street. You know those games are carried on by by the narrators, by the voice of the streets. And we got Mike Larry, legendary Rucker Park announcer, that's going to be joining us in just a minute. Before we get to Mike Larry, let me introduce my co-host, my brother, the one and only legend in two games, Eric Sanchez. What's going on?
What's really good, bro? You already know what time it is. I'm always excited when we get together and we get the interaction with the people. I'm just super excited to get to it, man, because we got some NBA news talk to get into. It's so much going on right now, man.
No, that's an absolute fact, man. It's a lot going on. Some news just just dropped on the wire. We was gonna start another place, but you know what? Scoop B did say we do like the drama, and we do like the drama. So I'm just gonna I'm moving the whole rundown down for just a second. Some news just came out of New Orleans. How they say, Eric? No, I got cool. We got
Nolans,
yeah,
out of
no,
Nolans.
out of New Orleans. Yeah, some news just came out of New Orleans. It ain't looking too good for Zion right now. His one of his ex porn star girlfriends is threatening to release tapes if the Pelicans don't trade him. Um, we didn't even get to talk too much about Zion last week.
Hold on. So she's trying to force the organization to trade him, or she gonna release the tapes?
She's according to the tweet. Let me go.
Oh Lord.
Let me pull the tweet up directly because I don't want to I don't want to misquote what this young lady said. Let me see what is tweet at. The fans send me, shout out to the fans because y'all send me stuff all the time, and so for us to talk about on the show. And so the tweet says, NBA, I have sex tapes of me and Zion Williamson, and he also has them on his trap phone. At NBA, at Pelicans NBA, trade him now. He doesn't deserve to be in New Orleans. Nolans, sex tape dropping soon. And that was from the verified Twitter account of Mariah Mills. Eric, when I saw this, I said, "Oh man, Zion don't need this. He already in so much. Like he can't even get on the court and stay healthy, and now he got to deal with this drama." When I saw the tweet, when it got sent to me, the first thing I started thinking about Chris Brown. These ain't loyal. No, they ain't.
Listen, who baller scoop? Shout out to who baller scoop. He got some good questions, and then I know we're gonna get to those in a minute. Uh, Zion has created a mess for himself. To Hoop Baller Scoop's point, I do think this is something that would, no pun intended, blow over pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this would linger on and affect his career, but it's just a bad look because you're a guy who has a big time sneaker endorsement. You're a guy that the league would love to promote more and turn into the face of the league. And the last thing they want is that a porn star is releasing sexual content of you two together as they try to promote you. So that again, it won't hurt him. I don't think in a way that it would hurt somebody who's of a smaller stature in the league, but it could hurt his brand a little bit because he hasn't done enough to really overcome those type of obstacles. He hasn't played enough. He's at a point I think in his career where some people are starting to give up on him a little bit, and so the sex tape would only hurt the brand that he's trying to establish. But ultimately, would it kick him out the league? No, he would still play basketball. Like he would still be able to make a really good living for himself. It just would look bad for the brand.
Yeah. I mean, the only way he comes off looking bad if it was like a quick sex tape. If it was too quick, the ladies might have something to say about that.
Shout out to Courtney. We see the comment.
Hold on, Courtney. Come on, Courtney. You starting up early already. It's bad with us late. Y'all, because y'all fresh. That's why y'all being fresh is 8:06 on a Monday on Juneteenth, and Courtney out here being fresh in the comments. No, but Zion got to get it together, man. You gotta learn from what's happened before you. These players, he should be lucky that guys like Kevin Garnett and Gary Payton aren't in the league anymore because the trash talk is gonna be crazy coming into next season if he actually gets back on the court.
Yeah, and Trip, I need the main camera right now for what I'm about to say. Shout out to Will Gordon. We see you in here too, Will. I need the main camera. What you got? What's going on there, Trip?
No, go ahead. We good.
I need the main camera because I know we're going to talk about Lou Will, and Lou Will is retiring after a great career in the NBA. But Lou Will is the prototype of somebody who could juggle multiple women without getting caught up in the embarrassment. And the Pelicans actually probably should sign Lou Will to come in and mentor Zion in this moment right now. There's an opportunity to mentor the young guy and throw your arm around him like, look, I myself had 2 women in the family suite at the same time, and nobody made us think about it. I was able to manage 2 girlfriends at the same time, and it was cool. And you're struggling with doing the same thing. One of them is a porn star, the other one's a stripper. It really shouldn't be that difficult right now, Zion. This isn't like some sort of tough calculus that you can't figure out. You should be better at this. Lou Will, I think the Pelicans should call him and bring him in to mentor.
I agree. And this is why we take a second today on this show to pay homage to Lou Williams and the greatness that he has incurred throughout his career in the NBA. A great career. He's officially retired, but he set the trend. And Zion, you should be following behind that. Listen, man, no tapes unless you control them. You can't be just letting people have tapes. You are the bag. You're in the situation. You can't just be giving anybody access to your personals. That ain't gonna fly, man. You got to get it together. Ultimately, he'll be fine. He probably gonna get a few more DMs after she dropped the tape. But other than that, just get on the court. We want to see you play. What I'm saying, as a Blue Devil fan, I definitely want to see Zion getting healthy and actually on the court and have the headlines be about his play on the court as opposed to everything that's going on off the court.
We all hope for that, man, because it's at a point now with Zion, what we're 4 years in, and I mean, it hasn't really lived up to the hype at all. When he's on the court, he's phenomenal. We know what it looks like when he's on the court, but he spent more time in street clothes than actually an NBA uniform. And so it does get to a point where, as I mentioned, people start to give up on you and start to feel like it's never going to materialize in the way we thought. So for Zion right now, image-wise, he needs to get on the court. He needs to start playing 60-plus games a year. He needs to start living up to what we thought he was going to be when he was the number 1 overall draft pick.
Absolutely. With that being said, we're going to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the official voice of Rucker Park. And again, when I do this introduction, I gotta say these things because if you're from New York City, but if you're not from New York City, you know about Rucker Park and how impactful Rucker Park has been for the culture of not just basketball, but music, fashion, some of the things. And that's all, carried along by who's ever speaking on the microphone on the court, and everybody don't got it. I done seen some guys, get up there and they fizzle out. Mike Larry, he is that guy. So we're gonna bring my man Larry on right now. Welcome back to Real Fans, Real Talk, man. We missed you out here.
Thank you. It's been a blessing. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all killing me with this voice of Rucker Park. You know what I mean?
Nah, we just calling it like it is, Mike. Come on, I know you're very humble, but don't disregard what we saying. It's true. You the voice out there, man.
When people go there just to see you, you got to take that because there's people that come to see the players, but there's people that come to see Mike Larry on the microphone, pulling girls out, dancing on the court, running up and down, creating nicknames for people. They come to see that, so we got to pay homage to a legend when we in the midst of one.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot, fellas. I appreciate that. I mean,
first and foremost, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Nah, I say it's been one of them trying years. You know what I mean? As far as Rucker Park goes and stuff of that nature. But we'll tap into that a little bit.
All right, go ahead, Eric.
I was gonna say absolutely. I'm always a fan of the work you put in because I got to meet you. It was like 5-6 years ago, and to see the growth of the brand and everything that you've been doing, and then to see other people shout you out for your work. I commend you on that, and I applaud you because we know the work that you put in to create the Mike Lowry brand.
Appreciate it, man. It's a lot of work, man. A lot of people don't. I was just talking to a good friend of mine. Like a lot of people really don't see and understand the hard work it took, You know what I mean? Like I was just crying the other night, man, just going through it because it is very taxing sometimes on how to keep the brand going, keep everything flowing, and things of that nature. And sometimes it could become overwhelming. And I do apologize. I'm in the setting of my car right now because I had to. My it was Father's Day, so my girls didn't want to leave my grandfather, so they stayed over at the crib. So I had to come pick them up. So I told them go play with grandpa and grandma real quick. I gotta jump on a dope podcast real quick. So forgive the surroundings. Nevertheless, like I was stating before, it is a lot that goes on to keeping the brand. A lot of study hall, a lot of grind, and so I appreciate the accolades. I appreciate the acknowledgement, man. It's not easy, but I believe it'll be worth it at the end of the day.
Absolutely. The questions is coming in for you already. So let me first one up on the board because this is directly for you from Hoop Baller Scoop. Mr. Mike, is it true at Rucker Park that Vince Carter got outplayed by somebody? I think A Butter. I'm assuming it's A Butter because
A Butter. Yeah, so he definitely got A Butter put work in. You know what I mean? Big shout out to my man Adrian Walton, I believe his last name is A Butter, aka a whole lot of game, aka 357. Where he got the name 357, and I may miss be quoting, but I think he was MVP 3 times, won 5 chips, and went there 7. So they gave him 357. It's a nickname they gave him. But yeah, Vince Carter did get outplayed by A Butter. A Butter put in that work, man. Big shout out to my man, whole lot of game. A Butter, he put that work in, man. It was a sight to see. I was a kid when I was at Rucker Park that day. It actually happened at Gaucho's gym. I was a kid when I was in the stands watching that. Didn't know I'll be the announcer at Rucker Park, but just then watching it, seeing it, and all that other stuff. But A Butter put in work, man. Definitely.
A lot of legends in Rucker Park put up work against these pros.
Absolutely.
Shout out to A Butter. If you guys have, that's another one for the archives. I got to go check the YouTube channel. We had A Butter on location at Rucker Park doing an interview on did that one. So make sure y'all go check that out as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, A Butter gave us we were able to get a short interview with him summer of 2019 during the ceremony at Rucker Park.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I'll try to see if I can tap y'all in to get him on here to, you know what I mean, actually I'll give you a history of what A Butter did, you know what I mean. Joakim Noah, he had a lot to do with that. You feel what I'm saying? A Butter he tapped in with a lot of people. So you know what I mean, I do my due diligence and try to get y'all on, you know what I mean, get them on here to pull up to Real Fans Real Talk. You know, I'm an ongoing fan of Real Fans Real Talk. I love what y'all do, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely got to get him back. I like this question from Mike, man. I don't know if you can see the question up there, Mike. Where were you when Kevin Durant scored the 66 points? Was that his best performance ever? Now, we talked off air about the KD performance. So give the people the story again of KD pulling up the Rucker.
KD actually got there so early. KD of course had the nightcap game. He got there for the first game and he chilled and went got some soul food, came back. We ate, we chilled. I found out KD was gonna pull up there the day of when God bless the dead, the commissioner of Rucker Park, Greg Marius, when he was there, he said, "Yo, Kevin Durant coming." And I called him Uncle Greg, right? Because everywhere he went, I was trying to figure out and learn the business side of all this other stuff. So he was like, "Come with me." So I went and we met KD. We went and got some food. We came back, and the whole time just sitting there bugging out. I got Kevin Durant here, and I'm like, "Oh snap, it's up." You feel what I'm saying? Then it was like, "Yo, you want to go sit in the back, away from the people?" He was like, "Nah, I want to sit right here on the baseline with the people." Ate his food, and then came out and put on a show. I was not the announcer for that game. EJ the Mayor, I believe, had that game, but man, he put on a show. It just seemed like it was an ocean. Everything he threw up was cash, and it was nothing but the bottom of the net. Like it wasn't hitting rim, it wasn't going in and out. It was just cash. Like that's what he did, and he did it well. But as far as his best performance, I think it's one of his best. I think everybody should pop out to some type of street board tournament and put on a show because you got people that can't afford to pay for tickets that will probably won't be able to see. And then, you know, you got load management now. So you got people that save their money up to go see a game and then kind of find out that the star player not playing because of load management, which is corny to me. I seen Michael Jordan play in person. Wasn't because of load management. You feel what I'm saying? I seen Kobe play at the Rucker and it wasn't because of load management. You feel what I'm saying? So I just think everybody should do it, you know. So it's a lot. It's a lot that goes through it. But I think that performance goes down as one of the biggest performances in Rucker Park history.
Facts. We got another question. They come in there. The questions coming in.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
I'm gonna put Ron's question up, but I just want to know from you which NBA player while you were there had the best performance at Rucker Park?
As an announcer?
Yeah.
NBA player. As an announcer. Wow, that's a good question. He's actually about to go into the draft. I call him NBA player Marquise Noel, Mr. New York City.
Kansas State
in the house, yeah. He played against Isaiah Washington, Jelly Fam, and put on a show. You know, I'm talking about what y'all seen that he was doing in the Final Four. I think I posted a video of it too. Like, now you've been doing this. Like, I was calling his games when he's been shooting from far, been shooting from this, that, and the other, right? So, but to answer your question, as far as NBA players, a lot of NBA players didn't show up prior to after the passing of Greg Marius. You know, a lot of NBA players stopped going to parks anyway. But if I had to put one on, I'll put Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson came out. You know, he came out with the name. They gave him the nickname Born Ready. I gave him the nickname Lance Will Make You Dance. Quick story about that. I gave him the nickname Lance Will Make You Dance because he came down. I think I got the video too, and I'll make sure I send it to you. I can post it too. But Lance came down, put a spin move, shot a three, and did his little guitar thing, right? So he did the guitar. We laugh and we joke, and I'm like, Lance Will Make You Dance. That same year he was playing for the Lakers. LeBron gonna come in the post game and be like, yeah, that's my man Lance Will Make You Dance. Hold on, Bron. Hold on. Talk to him. How he got that name, Playboy? You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, he put on a performance. I think he had something like light 30. You feel what I'm saying? Light 30, but everything was oohs and ahs. You know what I mean? Even then, because you know, street ball is so watered down now. You know, we don't get the 10,000s and thousands of fans. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? So Lance for me, Lance and Marquise Noel.
Okay. Let's get to Ron's question. Now this might be a little bit before you were on the microphone at Rucker, but he wants you to talk about Fat Joe's history at Rucker Park.
Fat Joe and Greg Marius was tight, right? And then Fat Joe and Mousy, big shout out to Mousy, All Stars. He got a tournament down on 145th of Lenox called Tri-State Classic. I'm sponsored by Jordan Brand. Big shout out to my man Mousy. Mousy actually gave me my first shot at announcing, and I appreciate him for that. But Mousy and Fat Joe became friends, and then Fat Joe and Mousy would put teams together at Rucker Park. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fat Joe got 5, maybe 6 championships at Rucker Park, putting all those teams together. And you know, he was about it. Like Fat Joe really likes basketball. Like he was, you know, season ticket holder for the New York Knicks. He's at every game, no matter how bad they doing. Like Fat Joe is really like that. So I'm not gonna get on it too much, Trip. All right, I'm gonna leave your Knicks alone. I'm just saying how
that's my Knicks, but we good now. We good now.
We ain't doing too bad. You feel what I'm saying?
Now,
we ain't
right?
doing too bad. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Fat Joe, his history with Rucker Park, like he liked to see the community win, and he liked to play basketball. He liked to watch basketball. He really likes to put on a show, and he's big on basketball so much that he wants to be a part of it. You feel what I'm saying? It'll be a blessing to have, you know, Fat Joe come to other tournaments that I'm currently doing. You feel what I'm saying? So, and we'll dive into that a little bit more.
Well, now we're gonna get into that in a second. Hold on, Trip. We talking about Joe's history. Obviously, it was documented. The game that never was, obviously, Joe and Jay-Z. Now, I know you weren't the official MC yet, but were you there that day when everybody talks about? They were saying they was Shaq and a couple other guys in the bus waiting to get on the court.
Yeah,
Bron
I think that was
there.
Yeah, I think that was the blackout game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't there because, I think I wasn't there because, of course, it was a blackout, right? Mom and Pops don't let me go nowhere. I don't care who outside. So I wasn't there, but I was supposed to, right? And from, you know, the stories being told, there's a couple people that's supposed to be there. You got this person that's supposed to be there, this person that's supposed to be, and I believe it. You feel what I'm saying? What I don't believe is LeBron he ain't even shooting for the dunk contest. I didn't think he was gonna shoot for no street ball. That's just me. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't care how much.
That was young LeBron. He might
Yeah,
have.
but it took because it took 40-year-old LeBron just to play in the Drew League last year. Like, so
He
18-year-old
might come now.
LeBron's
He might come now.
stop playing with me, man. I wish he would come out and light him up. I'll fry LeBron. Word up, man. And I'm a LeBron fan. You feel what I'm saying? I just don't. Once again, I grew up in that when Steph Marbury was coming. Kimber Walker, Easy Pass. You know what I mean? Starbury, Allen Iverson, the answer. Like Vince Carter, Jamal Crawford. Like I was there. Nate Robinson. I was there when these guys was coming. Like on a regular. Like it's documented that Jamal Crawford used to look forward to pulling up. Like I knew I got to catch a flight to New York City and play on the Rucker. Like people was doing it. So for NBA players to not do it, and I know there's a lot more money involved, a lot more investment involved. So people got to protect their investment, which I agree with. I am not knocking it. But young 18-year-old LeBron who hasn't played the game at the NBA level yet was going to play street ball. Negative, wasn't happening. But I do believe a lot of people was there. You feel what I'm saying? I do believe a lot of people was there. Now we actually tried to put that game 2 years ago. We tried to put that game back up. You know what I mean? We reached out to Jay-Z and Rock Nation and Fat Joe. And neither one of them, they was like, yo, listen, it's not what we're doing no more. It was back then it was tough.
It was a
We're
moment.
not trying to put no team. Yeah, it was a moment. You know what I mean? It was like basketball is not like what's in it for me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like the community. And they was like, I hear you, but it's not happening. Right. So, and of course, you know what I mean? Then you got to put insurance on these players. Like something happens on the basketball court. Can you only imagine? You know what I'm saying? The endorsements and deals is being lost. So, it never went through. But yeah, that was a big day, and the biggest biggest basketball event that ever happened.
Thanks. Let me Dion Hoops page. I'm gonna just say your comment really quick. Let me just remind you guys at home when y'all dropping comments, if y'all want us to put them up on the screen, I can't have the profanity in the comments because we are on television. And a lot of stuff is gonna go to the TV station. We're not trying to off the air, but I'll just read it. LeBron ain't built for street ball. He's too soft. Them fouls. that's all I'm gonna say. But shout out to Dion. Keep the comments coming in.
Shout out to
Dion. Keep them clean, fellas, because I want to engage with y'all. Keep them clean, please.
And shout out to my man Will Gordon. I know where Will's going with this. Mike, we're gonna have to have you on for a separate episode because me and my man Will Gordon, he's from the DC area, and we always argue about which area has the best street ball, right? So he want to know what area of the country shows out at the Rucker the most, not including New York. So outside of New York, what regions of the country have you seen that really shown out at the Rucker?
Because we know it's New York one, but just saying.
Not including New York. The best people I've seen, that's crazy that he asked that, knowing that he's from the DC area. The best places that I've seen was Chicago, came to Rucker Park and showed out one time, Chi-Town, and DC. You know what I mean? There was one kid, I can't remember his name. I gave him the name, the nickname I gave was, long name, it doesn't matter if I had to take a bus or train, I'm giving y'all 50, right? Because he was coming down and he was chucking and he was knocking everything down. I can't now remember the kid's name while I'm on air for some reason. I'm drawing a blank, but he was from the DC area and this kid, he put in work, you know what I mean? And after the game, he picked up his bag and he looked like he was getting ready to leave again, like, I'm out. Like back to the bus or the train to go back to DC type train. I was like, it don't matter what he was about his business, you feel what I'm saying? But Chi-Town, Chicago, and DC came to Rucker and put work in for sure. You know what I mean? Can't forget LA too. You had a couple LA cats come from and put their work into.
Facts.
And that's the beauty for anybody who's never been a Rucker. We talk about Mike emceeing it and just really controlling the whole situation. You make everyone feel a part of the experience because there was one time we was out there and there was some cats from Europe out there and you fully engaged them and made them feel a part of the whole experience where their whole section was going crazy. So if you've never been to Rucker when Mike Lowry's there, you got to put that on your bucket list because it's something like you've never seen before.
Or any park or any game that he's calling. You just
and I definitely put y'all on to where I'm at. You know what I mean? Just see. I'm looking at a question. Isaiah Whitehead, is he still around? Did he ever do damage at the Rucker? Isaiah Whitehead actually came and played with Lance Stevenson that day, and they went to work. Isaiah Whitehead definitely went to work. Brooklyn born, Coney Island's own. You know what I mean? They go and work like. There's something in the Brooklyn water that just hit different. They walk around with the face, like, you know what I mean? And he came in on the humble, you know what I mean, baby face, and he went to work. Isaiah Whitehead, IBM. I'm a bad man. It's the nickname I gave him. IBM. I'm a bad man. So you know what I mean. He went to work, man. But yeah, he's still around. He actually big shout out to the Isaiah Whitehead tournament out in Coney Island. He got his own tournament out right now. You know what I mean, doing this thing. I did opening day like 2 years ago, shut it down, and the tournament ain't been the same since. I don't know why people just ain't calling me back, but that's another topic for another day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean.
Let me say this about Isaiah Whitehead. Shout out to him. I appreciate the Brooklyn talk. This is why y'all got to stay in tune with Real Fans Real Talk and the things that we doing, because if y'all had noticed, we brought Isaiah Whitehead to Ballin' for Peace to sit with us and be our personal celebrity guest judge for the dunk contest when it was downtown Brooklyn. At
Brooklyn, St. Francis.
New York Tech, St. Francis. There you go.
St. Francis.
Yep, St. Francis College. We brought Isaiah Whitehead out. It's documented. I told y'all, ain't no cap on Real Fans Real Talk. When we tell y'all we connected with these people, we connected. We tell y'all we gonna bring them on the show. We bringing them on the show. You see who we got for y'all this week, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah, and that was the last Ballin' for Peace. I don't know why I ain't get the call, but that was the last Ballin' for Peace joint I did there too. You feel what I'm saying? And they ain't been the same since. So you feel what I'm saying? I'm too. You know what it is? I'm always stay humble because your humility is always gonna bless you with the next opportunity. So that's why I remain humble. But trust and believe, I done put enough work in that people gotta understand. And when I say it get different when I'm on, it get different when I'm on. I'm just leaving opening day right now for Rucker Park, and I wasn't on, and
it got different.
It got ugly different. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't different. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But that's neither here or there. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh man, we gonna have to have that conversation off air because obviously it sounds like some politics is taking place over there.
Yeah, of course.
Hold on, before we get to Amani's question, shout out to Amani. Pooh got a question. She asked, did Trey Burke come up to Rucker and kill 1 year?
I don't recall Trey Burke coming up to Rucker. If I don't recall personally, you know what I mean? That's not I don't want to guess either. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't recall Trey Burke coming in. I believe Trey Burke could come in and give anybody buckets because he plays the game the right way. And there's a difference between a hooper and a baller. You know what I mean? Hooper is going to play the game, but a baller is going to get you a bucket no matter the time, area, or date. They're going to hoop. So I'm not sure if Trey Burke did come, but if he did pull up, then I'm pretty sure he went to work.
If he did, it would have been during one of the years that you're there, because Trey Burke is kind of young still.
I believe so. So I said, if he came when I was there, he didn't come when I was there. You know what I'm saying? But
got you.
Yeah.
Got you. And Amani got a good question here for you, Mike. She want to know your top 5 players in the NBA all time, because she said ever. So your top 5 all time. What would your starting 5 be all time?
Michael Jordan. Nah, I'm an MJ fan. So, my top 5, and I'm gonna go from position. Right, point guard, I have Steph. Shooting guard, I have MJ. 3, I have Bird. The 4, I will have KG, and the 5, I have Shaq. And you could toss up the 4 between KG and Tim Duncan, like. You know what I mean? Those is just guys that I could win with. You feel what I'm saying? I feel those guys is gonna anybody on that team can have an off night and we still could come up with a win. Right. So I'm big on basketball is my thing. Like I like it. You feel what I'm saying? I have LeBron come off the bench as a 6 man because he's just gonna flow and play the game the right way. I have no problem with LeBron's game. You feel what I'm saying? Just don't like anything else. But I'm not gonna get into LeBron. That's my guy, B. Hey,
and Pooh, he played at Dykeman and he played in the Kingdom.
Okay.
So that's he put up 35 at Dykeman.
Okay. Yeah. Hoopballer Scoop saying he put that up at Rucker, but if you're saying it was at Dykeman,
I checked. I got the video right now.
Possibly, it probably have been Dykeman. It might have been Dykeman.
Trey Burke pulls up to Dykeman Park, drops 35.
I bet. So it might have been Dykeman. Will Gordon got a question. Similar, we talked about top 5. Will Gordon want to know what would be your top 5 NBA players that hooped at the Rucker. I like that question. Yeah, I like that one too.
At the Rucker, Vince Carter, Jamal Crawford, Allen Iverson, Um, Vince Carter, Allen Iverson, Jamal Crawford, Kimber Walker, um, and Donovan Mitchell.
So no KD, no Cole.
Kobe game got shortened. KD, you can put KD in there. I put KD over.
66, still 66. Okay.
Yeah, no. I put KD. I put KD before. Who was the last person I said?
Spider.
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, and I'm calling Donovan. And this before Donovan Mitchell got to Louisville.
I was just about to
there.
say. I was about to say you called Spider when he was about to go to college. He wasn't even. He wasn't a pro yet. You called him coming out of high school.
You're right. So I put KD in there because Don went to work that game. I ain't gonna hold you, but yeah, I definitely put KD in there. You feel what I'm saying? So Jamal Crawford, Allen Iverson, Kimber Walker, Stephon Marbury, and KD. They the ones that put work in. They showed up and showed out. Kyrie Irving went to work too.
Mike, I'm drawing the blank right now on Dion's question. I know who it is. I know he was supposed to go to school with Skip. Street baller, he passed away. They have a date. I'm so mad.
Ali Mo, the Black Widow.
Ali Mo, there you go.
From the N1, yeah, he was on the N1 circuit. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Ali Mo, Black Widow. I seen Ali Mo one time dribble a tennis ball like a basketball, and it wasn't going. It had full control, like between the legs. Like I'm looking at him like, is he bugging? Like a tennis ball, and so you dribble a tennis ball. Sometimes you lose. No, he was not losing no control. I'm like, this guy's bugged out. And then Ali Mo arms were from short. Like he'll sit down regular, and it's like he touching his toe. His arms was long. You feel what I'm saying? So big shout out to Ali Mo, Black Widow. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, man. Cool dude, humble dude, love the kids and all that other stuff. I didn't get a chance to fully know him on that level, but whenever I did embrace him, it was always cool. Yo, young blood, what you want? Want something from the store? Like he was always that guy. Like, yeah, let me get a sandwich, B. Treating, you know what I'm saying? For real, that's serious. You know what I mean?
I'll take a hero. I'll take a chop.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know what I mean? He was not denying you either.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember correctly, when he was on the N1 circuit, he actually had got a tryout with before they was the Thunder, when they were the Supersonics. When they were still Seattle, he had got a tryout with them, and then I remember him talking about some of the politics of it. But obviously his game
there's a lot of politics in this game that you will realize, man. It's a dog eat dog world. I tell anybody that's listening and watching it, man, make sure y'all tap in and be your true authentic self. You know what I mean? I always say it in a lot of my videos that be careful how y'all treat me, because God always spin the block for me. Like, just be your true authentic self, because it's a lot of dog eat dog out here, man. And you just want to make sure you locked in and tapped in the proper way to where, your blessings keep coming in.
Facts. Now, definitely, the first time I saw Ali Mo was on the N1 mixtape, and he was one of them ones.
Yeah, he was.
And then I started following him, and then being around and seeing him, yeah, man. So definitely rest in peace. Man, we lost a couple of the legendary.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Total Package. We just lost Total Package. No, you know what I mean,
it's a lot of guys out there, man, and they all came through. You know what I'm saying? To the Rucker, man. That was the place to be. It's a little different now, like from the peak years. But Rucker Park is always going to be a park. And I spoke about a week or so ago. I was talking about the iconic photo Rucker, where you got people sitting on the roof of the Polo Grounds, and you could just see it's like crazy in there.
Yes,
that's prime Rucker Park. And if you was able to be at Rucker at that time, you experience greatness, man.
Yeah, you experience greatness. You experience something that was monumental. You experience history, because I don't think there'll never be. You understand? Just going through I was talking to my dad and just going down the list of how many tournaments is in New York City, because we was trying to figure out, why come we can't get it back to where it's at? That we named 14, right? And just 5: Dykeman, Rucker, Hoops in the Sun, LES Express, UBA. I just named 5, right? I didn't even get to any other. We named 14 tournaments in New York City alone, like the 5 boroughs. So it's like, why would, it's going to be hard to, you know what I mean, keep those people that was in every day. Rucker was packed out every day. But it was either Rucker, Rucker, Hoops in the Sun, Pro City, and Dykeman. So you talking about 4 major tournaments where everybody was going. You understand? Other than that, you got 15 other people. Then you got cycling players. You know what I mean? Which player could come here? Which team could come here? Because they're in every other tournament. So it's just a lot, man. It's a lot.
Shout out to Randy and Joe over
Big
at
shout out to them.
Mhm.
they
Them boys holding it down.
they were on Real Fans Real Talk. I want to say maybe 8 years ago was the first time they were at it was St. Anne's gym in the Bronx. And we had Joe on the first time, and then Eric and we went up one summer and we were like staples at Orchard Beach one summer.
Every Saturday we was up there for Hoops in the Sun.
We was up there and there was nothing but love. And Joe, man.
Randy and Joe definitely tapped in, man. Definitely over there. So shout out to them guys, man. Definitely
Hey, Mike.
have.
I want to ask you though, as someone who is so tapped in, with a lot of these guys who nationally they don't have attention, right? You see them at Rucker, you see them at tournaments, and you know how skilled these guys are, and the rest of the world never gets to see it. But then when you see a Marquise Noel do what he did at the tournament, especially at Madison Square Garden, like how dope is that for you to know, like, yo, there's a dude, I seen him come up, and now the rest of the world is finally catching on to him.
It's dope for the young king because because I'm a fan of I want to see everybody win, right? Because I'm huge on wanting to see everybody win. I also understand that when the opportunity comes where everybody can see the talent that this kid was traveling out to Miami to work out, you know what I mean, on his own dime, you know what I mean, in the pool, you know what I mean, back blocks, run up and down stairs, like, and now you come to Rucker Park, you put on the show. Now everybody get a chance to see it. I like it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm constantly talking to Marquise, like, yo, stay tapped in, do what you got to do. You feel what I'm saying? Stay locked in because, man, your time is gonna come, and when it comes, you want to be able to present yourself with the availability that I'm here. You understand? Same thing will happen with me and then announcing. And I think it's super dope to see him really locking in, you feel what I'm saying, and getting the opportunity from the combine all the way up until. So he's doing his thing, man. I like it because I've been calling like, now that kid a pro. Like he know how to run a team. Every NBA team needs somebody to know how to run a team and get you a key bucket. If he may not be a 20 and 10 guy in the league, but he could damn sure be a 15 and 10 guy. You feel what I'm saying? Like a 10 and 10 guy. He going, and that's what you need sometimes out of your players. You feel what I'm saying? Out of your point guard. And I'm happy to see him getting a shot, a fair shot at that.
This question up. I don't know if you see the question. Octane and the cat they call 50. Did he really have a 50-inch vertical leap?
High Octane is from, I don't know.
We're gonna need y'all to do some research in the comments.
Look, yeah, leave that. Google it. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know. As far as a 50-inch vertical, I don't know if that's what he had a 50-inch. I just know he had jumped so high that the guy was like, I got to be a 50-inch vertical, right? So that's why they called him 50 or whatever. But he jumped so high. Once again, is it a 50-inch vertical legally? I don't know, but he jumped too high, yo. And I used to be like, something wrong with you. Like, I don't know how. Like, who's your parents? You found that you jumping that high, but he could jump dumb high.
Facts. Can we go to Ron's question? Because Ron actually got a really good question, and you're somebody who can speak to this. Who are some of the coldest female ballers you saw coming up that may be in the WNBA now or overseas?
Word up. Epiphany Prince.
Okay.
Could still hoop, right? She's in the league now. I actually think she's with the Liberty. Shannon Bobbitt, she hoop, you know what I mean? She not playing no more, but she was cold. You feel I'm talking about hoop. You know what I mean? You got this young lady, she plays overseas, I think in Greece or Germany, one or two. Nikki Avery, aka Nene Venus, right? She hoop. I'm talking about these girls is cold. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Bria Jackson, aka Envy Bree. She played in Hoops in the Sun a few times. She played at Rucker a few times. She could shoot lights out. You know what I mean? And those, my goodness, you know what I mean? That's who you want. You want these people that can hoop, you know what I mean? And then you got your regular others. You got others that don't mind hooping, you feel what I'm saying? But those are the cold female. I actually, my first pro-am game I ever did was a female game. So whenever I got a call of girls, like, they hold a special place in my heart because the girls, you know what I mean, that's where I got my first shot at pro-wise. So it was big.
Facts. Shout out to the ladies.
Shout out to Nikki Avery. You and her actually just dropped a promo recently.
Yeah. Yeah. We did a promo at Rucker. It was a commercial we was doing. Matter of fact, we was just fooling around, and my creative mind, whenever I start thinking about different things, I said, yo, I want to do something with Nikki because she's a rapper as well. There's a line that I use whenever she play. I just want to live good and be well. And so we dropped the promo together. You know what I mean? I've been a fan and pushing for her to succeed in all areas of life since she started hooping, since I met her. So, she holds a special place in the basketball world with me because I want to see, like I said, everybody win.
Facts. And shout out to Nikki Avery. That's another one. Y'all going to the archives. Nikki has actually guest hosted an entire show with us, and she's been on the show several times. She's an MVP overseas. She's I think she did like back-to-back championships
Yes.
in Greece, or I want to say Greece,
I
or
want to say Greece too.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely dope. Y'all should check the archives on Nikki Avery, her interviews with us as well. Let me for Tawana, Lonnie Harrell is from DC. He's not from New York. And Shamika Holsaw, she did go to Christ the King. Scoop
Diego
Ball,
Christ the King. Yes.
Scoop Ball, Scoop was
She,
asking that question.
yeah, she was cold. Shamika was cold, man. I wish some of these girls that had an opportunity that's in the league, that's in the WNBA now, like they got an opportunity to go to WNBA. I just want the WNBA to get more teams and get these girls an opportunity. There should be no reason why you get drafted and get cut training camp. What you draft me for? You just wasted a whole pick and and you crushed a person's dream. Like, let's figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all got to bring me to the boardroom, I got some ideas that'll make it pop. You know what I mean? And it's going to take the NBA, but I guarantee if the ideas I got, that the WNBA could be making some bread. Trust me. Y'all holla at me, WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Y'all holla at me. You know what I mean? I ain't even asking for a dime. I just want to present the idea, man, because I want to see our young ladies league win. I got two girls. Who knows they're going to play good basketball later in their life. You feel what I'm saying? If they are, I don't want them to have to go to overseas to go get a couple of dollars.
Sue Bird went to Christ the King as well. Christ King produced the NBA ballers and
Yeah, now they go down history. They big history over there.
Eric Barkley, Lamar Odom. Was out there. Couple cats. Actually, I might be doing some work on it. They called me up. They want me to work on a project featuring a couple of those guys from that.
Christ the King definitely produced a lot of
that legendary team that they had. Where they. So shout out to Christ the King, man. I mean, this, New York, man. We been to Mecca for a reason.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Hey, put up a hoop ball scoop comment there. It's pertaining to Marquise Noel, but also Isaiah Washington and the Jelly Fan movement, which I mean really took over the city for a few years.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you think Norwell is on an NBA roster opening NBA night? And why do they use the height thing against small guards? It's not fair. But whatever happened to
Isaiah Washington, and how did the Jelly Fan get started?
So let me answer one question at a time. Do I think Noel will be on the NBA roster? Absolutely. I pray he get drafted. If not, he's gonna be on a roster the same way Jose Alvarado got on a roster. And he went to Christ the King as well, right? But he definitely is going to be on somebody's NBA roster. The reason why they use the height thing against small guards, even though it's not fair, they use it because it's the facts of the facts, right? You got to guard somebody that's 6'8", that's 6'6" and you 5'8", right? That's just a mismatch nightmare for an NBA team, for an NBA coach. You understand? Like, there's very, very few guys that can perform at that high level, regardless of the height. But it's very, very few. I think Marquise Noel is one of those guys because he's New York. He's rah 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 with it. Um, it's not fair, but the facts are the facts. You know what I mean? You 5'8" trying to guard a 6'8" guy. You giving up height. You giving up length. You giving up everything. So now you can easily shoot over you. They can get a bucket when they're gonna get a bucket. So you gotta really be a little different. You feel what I'm saying? And it's physical. The NBA is physical. Um, Isaiah Washington right now, he's playing overseas. He was, I don't want to get none of these stuff wrong. He's overseas for sure because I was trying to connect him with a person in the NBL, which is the NBA in Australia. I got some connects over there that I was trying to line him up with. So, but he is overseas doing his thing over there. Big shout out to Isaiah Jellyfam Washington. How did the Jelly Fam get started? I wasn't in their circle when they started, but I think it was a group of them. Did a layup, and they was like, "Oh, Jelly," and it just went from there. And then one friend got the other friend, and then they went around and they called themselves Jelly Fam. But that's how they got it. A Butter used to call it the Butter Roll. Now, Isaiah Washington called it Jelly Fam. So, that was their thing, and that's how I believe it got started, if I'm not mistaken. And they could tap in and give you a better analogy on how it got started and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I believe Joel Santana nephew, who also played ball, was part of Jelly Fan. He was the one who was on their social media.
Yeah, Ja Quake, something like that. Ja was his name. Everybody called him Ja. So he's tough. Another little guard that put in numbers. You know what I mean? 50, 40 ball, 50 ball. Like, he's really like that. You know what I mean? He's shooting basketball. He did basketball as a hobby. Like, music is his thing, but he did basketball as a hobby. So, these guys, man, you just got to give people an opportunity. Everybody wants an opportunity. You give them an opportunity, they can really put on a show that you didn't think they could put on.
That's a fact.
Let's just go to a little bit of NBA talk because we did have a big trade go through today. So I'm gonna throw Wendy, shout out to Wendy McNair. I'm gonna throw her comment up there now. Bradley Beal, is that as good for the Suns as people make it? And who is gonna run the point?
I will have Canapone, right? Somebody who would just facilitate, right? I don't need him to do much, right? I don't need you to do much, buddy. Just get the ball up court and then pass it, right? So
You don't do nothing but pass and play defense.
That's it. You feel what I'm saying? But he would run the point. I have me personally. I have Bradley Beal run the point, Book at the 2, and KD at the 3, right? And I'll run the offense through Bradley Beal because all three of them need the ball to score. But D Book proven that he could come and play off the ball, catch and shoot. KD, he's tall enough to adjust his game to catch and shoot. Bradley Beal he most of his points come off the dribble. He creates off the dribble. So I would run the offense through Bradley Beal. I just don't see it working because what your bench look like? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. What your bench look like? I'm tapped out with the NBA. They stress me out sometimes, man. But nevertheless,
to trade a couple people because they're going to trade Ayton at this point because, all right, so they traded the bulk of their defense in the Kevin Durant trade when Cal Bridges and Crowder went out, and then you traded whatever was left of your defense with CP and Landry Shamet when he goes out. So there's literally no defense in Phoenix.
You got 4 people. You got to start in 4. You only got to start in 5. Like,
none of them play defense.
None of them.
They need to just go get Mike D'Antoni and let him run the show because that's gonna be
the only way. They got now the way it's gonna work. Big shout out to Frank Vogel because he knows how to he know how to manage egos. He know how to manage egos and big name superstars. It's proven he's done it before. So shout out to him. But boy, he got a task. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave him a chalkboard with a whiteboard with no marker and told him create magic. So he gonna have to create magic. You understand? It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a tough situation in Phoenix. I'll say this. On the surface, it looks good because you were able to flip Landry Shamet, who wasn't a guy who was really in their rotation. You were able to flip CP3, who looked like he was past his prime several years ago, and he kind of looked his age this past season, and they only had to give up a bunch of second round picks. But when you look at the roster, as Mike mentioned, you got no bench. You really got no point guard if you trust in Cameron Payne to be your starter. Um, Bradley Beal, if you're saying Beal should run the point, I think that's difficult because he has no history of showing that he could run any type of offense. And to Mike's point earlier, you need a guy who can run your offense. So regular season, I think it works for Phoenix. Come playoff time, we'll see all the holes in their roster and it'll fall apart. To me, they're not a championship team the way they're currently constructed. They're gonna have to flip DeAndre Ayton to get the pieces that they need because who's your perimeter defender? Who's the guy who's going to take on the challenge on the perimeter of stopping the other offensive guy on the other side? And then you're so top heavy that if one of your guys has an off night, you're probably losing. Because when you looked at their roster going up against Denver in the playoffs, it's like, yeah, oh, they got KD and they got Booker. Yeah, but Denver got Joker and they got all these other pieces. And all those other pieces, when they come to play, you're not beating that. So for Phoenix, you're gonna have to flip Ayton. Frank Vogel is an upgrade, I think, at coach. No disrespect to Monty Williams, but Frank Vogel has won a championship before. He's coached some really good teams. So, as Mike mentioned, he knows how to coach ego and he knows how to handle that type of team. But they need a lot more depth before they can really think they're a championship team.
Absolutely. They remind me of Miami when they first started out, but the difference with Miami at that time is that Eric Spoelstra was a rookie coach. So Eric Spoelstra didn't know how to handle that, you feel what I'm saying? But now that they got Frank Vogel, you got three good players, great players if you want to call them great, but you don't got nothing else to accommodate the greatness. Everybody needs some accommodation, right? Even when I think about, just me as an announcer, working with other announcers, like I've seen people become great. I've seen me make other people great, and I've seen people fall apart. And so everybody needs someone to accommodate their greatness in order to be great. I believe everybody have good in them, and everybody has a lot to get to greatness, but you're gonna need the proper people to get that.
No, that's a fact. I'll say this too. On the surface, again, it looks great because of the names they have there. But keep in mind, last year alone, KD, Book, and Bill missed a combined like 140 games. They all injury prone. That's why I say that the depth of this team is going to be very important because if injuries strike at any point, they don't have anything else beyond those big three that can sustain success.
Absolutely. Very well put. I didn't even know about that. How many games they missed. This is why we have real fans, real talk. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like real fans, real talk. Yeah, you probably Googled that. I'm gonna call Stephen A. Smith. We got competition. You probably Googled that like
Listen,
so fast, you know what I mean? But that's the deal, you know what I mean? And you're absolutely right. You feel what I'm saying? So I pray for their success. I do want to see KD win a chip without Steph and Clay. I do want to see D Book win one. I think he has the talent to. He remind me of a young Kobe, like the attitude wise. But it's just going to take a lot more.
Yeah, they're going to get killed on the defensive side of the basketball. And we're gonna, like you said, Eric, we're gonna see that more and more in the playoffs. That's one thing. The difference between
Oh, shit.
that team and that Miami team is Braun and Wade are both elite two-way players
That's a fact.
in their prime. In that
That's
on
a
that
big
Miami
fact.
team, so, what I'm saying, boss play defense as well. These guys are elite scorers. There's no elite defenders on. So yeah, they're gonna run into a lot of problems on the defensive side of the football basketball. Um, Draymond Green, he opted out of his last year.
Smart man.
Footballer Scoop says, "You think he leaves, or is he gonna stay?"
I think he's staying. I think Draymond's staying, but I just think he also knew that $27.6 million is all he was gonna get. So the smart business thing to do is opt out, renegotiate a longer term contract with better money. I don't think he wants to go nowhere. I don't think it's smart for Draymond to go nowhere. The only way he leaves if someone like Sacramento offer him big money. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Draymond don't really want to go nowhere. I think his heart is in Golden State. I think he stays. I hope he stays. It'll be good for Draymond to stay. You're not that guy, buddy, to
Yeah,
go and lead a team. You need Steph. You need a Clay. You know what I mean? You need a Jordan Poole. You know what I mean? You're not that. Once again, I want you to win, but you're not that guy to go over there and think you're going to be the man. Nobody's running offense to you. So I think he stays.
And this is older Draymond too. We ain't even talking about prime defensive player of the year, Draymond Green.
Absolutely.
This is his spot. He needs to figure it out, stay in Golden State because they have an ideal situation for Draymond Green. He's not one of those guys that can just go to any team and is going to have the success that he's had with the Golden State Warriors.
Agreed.
Nah, that's a fact. And Mike Lowry, you stole all my thunder because I was going to say, I think that he does not only stay, but I think they work on a deal for the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe they get him at somewhere 15 to 20 mil per year. So he'll get a little bit more money than the 27 mil, but it'll bring down the annual number because it'll fit perfectly into what they're trying to do in Golden State. Again, they want to compete for championships, but they're so above the cap that they got to rework some of those numbers. And as you said, Draymond isn't a focal point of any team. He's not a guy that you would build anything around. He's just a nice piece to have. And he's best suited in Golden State because realistically, where else could he go and have that same type of impact?
Yes, and I'm never stealing your thunder. I'm just facilitating, brother. Like, that was an alley oop, you know what I mean?
I got you. You the point guard. Yeah, I got you.
Listen, I just want to facilitate, build. You know what I mean? Take it from there, Playboy.
Trip, we can't hear you, Trip.
Can y'all hear me now? Shout out to Imani Williams. She says, "Is Jokic the best player in the world, and is Denver the favorite to repeat so far?" I'm gonna just say this really quick. I do think Denver is the favorite to repeat. I do not think Jokic is the best player in the NBA, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on. How you doing, Imani? You know, it's good to have you on. Thanks for stopping by, Real Fans Real Talk. But no, he's not the best player in the world. He's the best at his position. Yes, I would say that. You understand? But he's not the best player in the world. Like, they are the favorite. I have them as a favorite to repeat. They have a good chance of repeating. They bringing back majority of their core. I don't want to steal too much of East Thunder because I know he's coming with some stats, but he's not the best player in the world, but I think he's the best at his position. I think he does that very, very well. I think they won the chip because he didn't have to put up 30 points. They won the chip because he didn't have to get 15 rebounds, but if he got 15 assists and 10 rebounds, like he could change the trajectory of a game at any place. So yes, I do think he's the best at his position.
It's tough, man, because I don't want recency to come into play. You know, yes, winning a championship will make you think the guy is the best, but we have this debate plenty of times. I think leading up to the playoffs, I felt like Giannis is the best player in the world. I think Joker is the most complete player because there isn't anything on the court that he can't do. Obviously,
lockdown defense, but all right,
right. But that's where it goes into the best player because on the defensive side, he has some holes in his game, and there's some parts of his game that you could pick apart. Where Giannis, you can't pick him apart on the defensive side of the ball. Giannis could do everything on that side. But I'm just saying, in terms of offensively, when you watch Joker play, there's never a moment where you be like, "Yo, what is this guy doing?" Or it's never a moment where he looks out of place. It just looks like everything is so fluid. It looks like I know exactly what I'm doing at all times. And I can beat you from anywhere. I can shoot the three if you give it to me. I can hit the mid-range if you give it to me. If you let me get in the post, I'm going to abuse you there. And then if you send a double team, I'm always going to make the right pass. So I think offensively, he is the most complete player in the game. But I still would probably pick Giannis as the best player overall.
You ain't going to find no argument over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you make it make sense like that, we're good to go, buddy. We're good to go.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan. Yeah, I agree. That's Giannis is my guy. And I said this when Combo was on the show last week. For me, it's hard to put somebody as the best player in the NBA if they're. You
froze again, bro.
Trip, yeah, your connection is bad.
Yeah, can hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, I said for me, it's hard for me to put a player as the best player in the NBA if they're not an elite two-way player. Like, I feel like defense just gets completely disrespected, sports period. So I can't put somebody as the number one guy who's not elite on both sides of the basketball, and Giannis has been that for the past 3-4 years.
I agree. If you both ends of the ball makes like I used to have Kawhi up there until he decides to take. I didn't know he used as many PTO days I get per year at my job. Like he just always off, yo. That's my man, but he just always off work. Like, dang, bro. Like where HR at? You don't get no write ups or nothing. He just gonna keep taking those days off. But I could agree with that too. Both sides of the ball makes a lot of sense.
You have to. I mean, and that's why. And that's not to take anything away from Joker. And that's why I said I don't want to use what happened this past season as the basis for everything, because we can't forget when Denver wasn't getting out of the second round of playoffs, everybody was saying, "Oh, he's not deserving of being an MVP of the league." And now that they've won it all, it's like, "Oh, how wasn't he the 3-time MVP?" It's like, y'all forget what y'all was saying last year when they got bumped in the second round of the playoffs.
Facts.
So
President of the moment.
Right. I never want to be a prisoner of the moment. I still think Giannis's game. Yeah, Giannis has some holes in his offensive game, but I don't think the holes in his offensive game are greater than the holes in Joker's defensive game. Because Joker can really be picked on the defensive end. Whereas Giannis, even though, yeah, he's not a great 3-point shooter, you still can't stop Giannis from getting to the line. Giannis can get to the line as much as he wants.
He's still getting 30 a night.
Right. He's still getting the 30 and 12 a night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
You know, respect. And again, let me say this, because I don't want people to feel like we can give someone their props without it being a slight to somebody else, right?
That's a fact.
Because I have Jokic in my top 5 right now. Just because I don't put him at number 1, is 300 players in the NBA. I got him at 5. That's a lot of respect I'm giving that man.
That's a lot of respect. That's a fact.
And people felt like, oh, in order to boost somebody up, we got to push somebody else, down. And no, it's not like that. I can feel both of these guys are great, but it just, I think there's levels, and I think Giannis is at the number 1 spot right now. I think he's young enough to where he's going to be there, for a little.
Trip, your connection.
And I think Milwaukee's championship window is good.
We good. We got you back. Yep.
Let me say this really quick. Cause we going in overtime. Make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel. All our social media, Instagram, Twitter at Real Fan Talk, Facebook.com/Real Fans Real Talk. Click that like button. And of course, if you are not in the New York City area and you can't watch on Verizon 43 Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Don't worry. All you got to do is go to that website, realfansrealtalk.com. Click that red button on the homepage on Thursday nights, and you can watch from anywhere in the world. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to both the Real Fans Real Talk and the Sanchez Show podcast, streaming on all major platforms. Mike, Larry, before we get into the next question, just give the people your info really quick so they can follow you on all your social media and they can go and get the Mike Larry experience.
Yeah, you can follow me on at @IAM_Mike Larry. That's IAM_MICLARRY on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, that's Twitter. Facebook is Mike Larry AG on Facebook. But on Instagram, you're gonna put up all my details and dates and stuff like that. Once again, that's at IAM_Mike Larry at IAM_MIC. Don't put MIKE. It's MICLARRY. All right, and tap in with me. And I'm gonna be dropping some dates. I'm at LES Express. I'm at Tri-State. I'm at Bolden Mac in Long Island, which is a super duper dope tournament. And then I'm tapping in White Plains, New York. I'm doing something out there as well. So we got a couple other things. Mike Larry's going to be out and about, different activations. I will be tapping in with the NBPA. We got some activations coming up at Rucker Park. So just be on the lookout. We're going to make some things happen.
Facts. I ain't gonna hold you, Eric, because you've been there before. You've been at Rucker Park before. When Mike Larry say that Real Fans Real Talk on the mic and the whole park go crazy, ain't nothing like it in the world, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. I still got that clip, Mike, when you not only shouted us out, you called us by name, and it was different. It was really different there, because it was like, yo, who you talking about over there? So we definitely appreciate that.
I'm always gonna listen, man. When I give honor where honor is due, I give respect where respect is due. And I pay homage to hard work. You know what I mean? I remember when y'all came outside and we interviewed, and when Trip E interviewed me in the park, and Trip was there, was like, "Yo, what's happening? What's happening here?" And y'all came on out. You know what I mean? So I'm just returning the love back, man. Yeah, people that put hard work, I'm always gonna push people to work hard, man. Work hard at your craft and keep doing what you're doing.
That's love, bro.
Always.
Okay,
What we got, Trip, before we wrap up?
Appreciate it, man. Hold on, let me see. I'm just going to drop a couple of quick taglines, because there's one that I do want to talk about. That's as far as NBA goes. MJ sold the Hornets $3 billion. He bought it for $275. That's a hell of a flip, if I do say so myself. The NBA.
I just need $4, man.
NBA draft is going down this Thursday. Eric, should we do it? Should we do a draft special on Thursday?
We could do it. We could do a draft special. We'll keep it to the lottery. We'll focus on the teams in the lottery.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna lock in with you guys again on Thursday night for a special NBA draft special, and rest in peace to Ray Lewis' son. Send condolences to Ray Lewis and all of the family and friends. Tragic story, alleged overdose. But so rest in peace to Ray Lewis' son. And again, we say condolences. Bling Blow. The Chiefs got their rings and it has 604 diamonds in it.
Jesus Christ.
Mike, you said you wanted $4. I just want one of them diamonds.
Give me a diamond, yeah. I keep the 4. Give me a diamond. Just give me one diamond. You talk about real fans, real talk. We going to ESPN with that one diamond. We're gonna be on ESPN. You know what I mean? I'll be the producer. Y'all figure it out. You know what I mean?
Facts. And then lastly, and we're gonna end off the show with this one here. We spoke about this the last couple of weeks. Shout out to Scoop B when he came on the show. Ja Morant, the NBA finals have officially finished, and Adam Silver said that the league would address it once the finals have finished, and the punishment came out, and Ja Morant will be suspended for the first 25 games of next season. So let's talk about it.
Ja Morant should go. He should go to the nearest church and say, "Thank you, Jesus." 25 games is like, and I think it's probably 30. If you add the 8 games, it was 8 games last year. If you add the 8 games, we had 30. You know what I mean? So, he should really go to his nearest church and say, "Thank you, Jesus." 25 games for a second offense of a gun on social media is really like, you know what I mean, low key. Now he going they say he's probably miss up to 50 M's. Like, he gonna feel that. But 25 games I'm thinking about OJ Mayo for the substance abuse, how he got a year. You feel what I'm saying? That was weed. You feel what I'm saying? And all this other stuff. But
he never came back after that either.
He ain't never come back after that. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? 25 games, he just find his nearest church or come to my church, Focus on Christ, Church of Restoration, 841 Interville Avenue, Bronx, New York. Got to throw the plug in there. You feel what I'm saying? Come to my church, Ja. You feel what I'm saying? We don't want no ties or offer. We just want you to say, "Thank you, Jesus," because God has graced you and blessed you that you only see in 25 games.
Man, that's a fact. Ja, as I've said several times, man, he just needs a better circle around him of people. Ja's the bag, and don't fumble this opportunity trying to live up to what people expect you to be on social media. Do what you got to do, handle your business. But for the league, this is where it got strategic, because I think Adam Silver did this with intent. 25 games doesn't seem like a lot on the surface, but as we've said several times, the NBA season doesn't really start till Christmas. So 25 games is going to keep him out right about Christmas time. And then he'll come back, and then Memphis will be on nationally televised games. But where it really hurts Ja is he won't be able to make any all NBA teams next year. And that's where the big money comes in on your next contract extension. Because if you look at it, remember, the new rule comes into place next year. You got to play, I believe, 65 games to make an all NBA team, right? 66 games. 25 games is going to automatically eliminate you from that. So when your new contract comes up, you probably won't be eligible for a Supermax because you're going to miss out on all NBA honors. And that's where it really comes in, bro. So
you gotta get some. I gotta make some calls. We gotta get your ESPN. You just strategic. We gotta figure it out. We gotta get y'all Fox Sports. Somebody call. See, I was trying to keep this tone down, but somebody call my mans. Call my peoples. B. These niggas is tapped. They tapped in. B.
They might have to, now that Shannon Sharp left, the ratings may drop. Fox might have to call
Somebody call him. Skip
so-
Bayless.
I'm
Skip.
just
Make the call, Skip. Stop playing with me.
Skip ain't going. He don't want us on the show.
I'm just saying it is what it is. We've said for a long time, man. It's different levels over here because we ain't got no producers, nobody writing for us. There ain't no team behind the scenes writing for us. This is what it really is, man.
Yeah.
Skip gonna lose a whole lot of Mountain Dew messing with real fans, real talk. We don't play no games.
You was you tapped in. You right. I didn't even look at that part. See, that's why I know y'all real fans and real talk because y'all tapped into the contract talks and all that. But that's a big fact. You know what I mean? That's definitely a big fact. I pray that he get it together though, and I believe he will. I believe Ja will. I just think this was the first one was one of those you get caught, but you wasn't no big penalty. Now you got caught, and it's like, oh yeah, let me get this. I can lose this. So I think he's gonna get it together. I pray he get it together. You know, if not, I got a few people that he could call. You know what I mean? Real fans and real talk is one of them.
Nah, he definitely can. I do. You know, I pray he learns finally from this. But then I seen there was another video that came out where he was playing with like a toy water gun but it looked like an actual gun, but it was a water gun. And I'm just like, yo, bro, what are you serious right now? So
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Ja. Like, I really hope he takes this time and speaks to somebody. I hope he changes his circle, because the people that are around him are not good for him. And I understand when you got love for people and you up and you want to keep people around you, but you have to understand who you are and what you represent. And Ja has to make a lot of changes in his life period. And I hope this 25 games gets it together because he's gonna lose a lot more than 50 million. Long term, he's gonna lose out on a lot more. And this is somebody who should be coming into being the face of the league.
Facts.
He has that type of talent, that type of ability. I'm very disappointed in Ja Morant that it happened again. I'm always in support of the players. But I'm glad that the league gave him the suspension that they did, because sometimes you have to get sat down before for you to correct things. So I'm glad because I think he needed it because the route that he was going, he's setting himself up for bigger failures. So I'm glad that the league gave him that many games. I hope that he gets it together. I might pull up on you at church too, because that's actually right around the corner from my mom's house. So I might pull up on you, and he might need to go there with us. I'll call him and see if we can get the same day and all come through.
Yo, come through, B. You know what I mean? Hell, I let you record outside the church as soon as we come. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, he needs Jesus, man, and just the right circle. And that's what I mean by that. Like just the proper guidance. You know what I mean? I have the proper guidance in my life, and sometimes I don't listen to them, but I'm trying my best not to make no dumb decisions. You feel what I'm saying? Nevertheless, you know what I mean? I believe Ja gonna get it together.
Yeah, that's it, man. So listen, Mike Larry, give us a final thought, man.
If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. All right. Don't ever think that you could do this on your own. Everybody needs somebody. And once you find that somebody, make sure you treat that somebody the right way to get the blessings coming to you. I'm your man from across the bridge where hip hop got started from the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. And they call me yours truly, Mike Larry. And it get different when I'm on. You tuned in to Real Fans, Real Talk.
I don't know if I say that another like you say that another, man.
Man, close the show right there, man. That shit is done. It's done, man. It's done.
Thanks for having me, fellas. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you, bro.
Facts. With that being said, shout out to everybody in the chats too. We love and appreciate all of y'all for rocking out with us and keeping this thing interactive. For myself, Trip Young, my co-host, my brother Eric Sanchez, aka Legend in 2 Games, and of course the voice. I'm just gonna say of street ball, period. Now that's what we're going with it. The voice of street ball, period. Mike Larry. We up out of here. Peace.